Hi, I'm Kate Pot-Carabolona, and I would like to welcome you to Political Science 230, Citizenship and Migration. This class is, about citizenship and migration. So if we're thinking about migration, what we're really thinking about is, currently in the United States, more than 1 in 4 residents is an immigrant or the child of an immigrant. That's huge, isn't it? And migration and immigration are one of those topics that everyone has an opinion on. And I think that's great. But I also know that it's one of those topics that we all think we know a lot about, but most of the time we haven't actually spent a lot of time researching it. So, in terms of what we think we know, for example, I want you to take a moment right now and think about what you know about, quote unquote, know about immigration. Why do people move? Who moves? Where are they going? What happens to them when they get there? And we've associated immigration in the United States. They're so linked to you think that the U.S. takes in a lot of immigrants every year. How many do we take in? Should we be taking in more? So my guess is that, did you answer for why do people move? I think most people will say, people move for a better life. And that might be true. But then why doesn't everyone get up and move? In other words, that answer that people move for a better life is just too simplistic. The reasons people start to move, where they end up going, are really complicated. So in short, I think many of the answers to these questions would surprise you. And, I guess I'm glad they do, because what would be the point of this class? So, in terms of what this course is about, this course tries to answer those questions and some other questions. And while I would love to teach a course on immigration, looking at immigration across multiple countries, there's only so much time we have together. So we'll be doing some comparative information, but our primary focus is going to be on the United States, immigration in the U.S. The most important thing I can ask of you is for you to keep an open mind, especially if and when we come across information that may challenge your preconceptions, that may challenge what you think you already know. Okay. That doesn't mean you don't know anything. On the contrary, you know a lot. What I'm hoping that this class will do is that it'll give you a chance to add to your existing knowledge. And then we add to our knowledge and start to think about things in a different way. Or what you know and your own experiences add to our knowledge. That's the great thing about college. So the structure of this course is broken down in 4 parts. The first part is we're going to be thinking about the nature of peoples and borders. And if we're talking about those things, we have to talk about the rise of the modern nation state, national borders, and the concept of modern citizenship. It could be argued that if there was no such things as borders, immigration wouldn't be an issue at all. So the next part of the class deals with the history of international immigration to the United States. And then in that section, we're going to be looking at the history of the early Chinese and Mexican immigration, Irish, Germans, Italians, Eastern European Jewish immigrants. These groups were chosen, these 4 groups right here, because they were some of the largest groups of immigrants to come to the United States. Then we're going to be looking at the Great Migration as an example of internal migration, not international, but internal migration, which oftentimes are some of the largest movements of people. So as we're looking at that history, that we're constantly going to be asking ourselves, why do people get up and move? Who moves? How do they choose places to move to? And how do the policies and politics, these kind of large macro level structures shape people's decisions to get up and leave. The last two parts of the course deal with the post-1965 immigration, and here we're going to look at pay special attention to undocumented immigrants and their experiences in the U.S., and we're going to be comparing this large post-1965 wave of immigration, which is the wave that we are still currently in, to how it compares to the previous waves of immigration. And then we're going to finally look at the process by which these quote-unquote outsiders become or do not become integrated into their new homes. So, in this last section, we asked things like, what does it mean to be an American? What are the experiences of the first, the 1.5, and second generation immigrants? What are the first generation, 1.5, and second generation immigrants? And then we're going to look at the debates about tolerance and multiculturalism and questions about asylum and refugee admissions that are so central to what the state is. And this is where we come back to our concept of the rise of the modern nation state. And that's it, folks. I'm looking forward to our semester together. I can't wait to meet all of you.